I really should be wearing Bruins gear for this. I don't think I have any. Not within reach. I have a lot of Bruins gear. Everybody knows that. So Boston just finished beating Philly 6-3. Brad Marchand with 5 points, including scoring the empty netter. Torrey Krug had 2 points. David Pastrnak 2 assists. Krejci scores. Bergeron scores. Chara scores. Charnik with an assist. Toronto looked good. So what's going on with Boston right now? Having watched them from the start of the year, I was very frustrated at the start because they had to have Rask in net or they lost. And that's still pretty much the case. Anybody but Rask who's in net, and I'm concerned. But they scored 5 against St. Louis. Now they've scored 6 against Philly. And I really, right now, like where Boston's at, because Rask doesn't have to stand on his head anymore for them to win games. Rask can be one of the best goalies in the league for a month, 2 months, but he's not a guy who maintains it the whole year long, and he's not made to play 70 games in a season. He's not. Tuukka is my favorite Boston goalie probably ever, next to Andy Moog. And anybody says, what about Tim Thomas? No, I prefer Tuukka to Tim Thomas. Because I don't get the same ego from him that I get from Thomas. And I still believe that if Tuukka had started for them in 2011, I think they'd still win the Stanley Cup. I know a lot of people are going to be not agreeing with me on that, but what gets me with the Bruins right now, and I'm just going to go through their lineup here on the score sheet. So Marchand's got his scoring back. He went through a long, prolonged slump. Torrey Krug has started scoring goals. Krug is and has been from the moment he debuted in the playoffs against, I believe it was the Rangers was when he debuted. And he scored a bunch of goals right off the bat. And I was like, oh, I like this kid on the blue line. He has a deadly shot when it's on. And the first 20, 25 games of the year, it was not on. And I was starting to wonder if Krug was just done. He has really come through lately. David Pastrnak is still having trouble scoring goals. He's already at 19, but he's having trouble scoring goals. But he's still producing. He is still playing well on the ice. They need Krejci to score. Goal today is huge. They need Bergeron to get his act together offensively. He scores. Charnik has been underrated all year. He gets an assist. He is on that third, fourth line. He is exactly the kind of player the Bruins need. Backes wasn't on the scoreboard today, but he's been a very solid veteran presence for them. They've needed that. Schaller isn't being written about either, but Schaller has been very effective for the Bruins in a non-scoring role. Chara, with his goal today, I think that's 3 for him. Chara is playing better because they got Brandon Carlo with him. Now, Carlo's kind of hit a wall, but Brandon Carlo is long-term the future on the Bruins blue line. I think Brandon Carlo is going to be every bit what Johnny Boychuk was, which is why I no longer am going to complain about the Johnny Boychuk trade. Because Carlo was what they got back. That second rounder turned into Brandon Carlo. John Michael Lyles being back with the team is good. Riley Nash doesn't provide any offense, but they don't need it from him now. Kevin Miller hasn't been a liability. Dominic Moore's been solid with faceoffs. Adam McQuaid is often useless, but he's your number 6 guy. So as long as Miller and McQuaid are your numbers 5 and 6 guys, you're good. You're fine. Bleed. Bleed, of course, made headlines there a couple days ago for the hit on Yossi. I thought about making a video about it until I realized that Yossi hit himself in the face with his stick. So anybody who said, oh, dirty hit, or oh, yeah, that's what Bleed gets, are anti-Bruins, and I have no use for them. For a kid with the last name Bleed, he really honestly has very few penalty minutes to his name, and he's not a dirty player. I'm very excited about what the Bruins have going. I'm very excited about where they're at. And when they were up 5-3 the last few minutes of the game, and the and the song "Shipping Up to Boston" comes on. And then they scored the empty netter, and I heard "Zombie Nation." There's a feeling I'm getting like this is feeling like about 4 years ago, 7 years ago. This is feeling a lot like when they went to the final in 2013 and a lot like when they won the Cup in 2011. Now, I'm not stating that the Bruins are going to win a Stanley Cup. I'm not. But this is the best they've looked since they were in that final in 2013. Their offense is working. Their defense is solid. Their goaltending has been fantastic for the most part. And now that the goaltending has become human, they're scoring. They're scoring enough to make up for it. So, as a Bruins fan, I'm excited for April because Dallas isn't going to make the playoffs. The Canucks aren't going to make the playoffs, so I'm left with Boston. And I want to see Boston go on a nice long run. Now, I said not that long ago that first round matchup would be Boston-Ottawa. Boston wouldn't last. Ottawa would knock them out. I'm going to say, based on the way they're playing right now, Boston knocks Ottawa out of the playoffs. Absolutely. They are playing Bruins hockey. And they haven't played Bruins hockey for a while. And I had lost faith in the organization under Don Sweeney. But the players that are still there from when they won apparently have enough pride to put together a pretty good run. And right now the Bruins are on a pretty good run. Let's see if the standings have been updated. Because there's an interesting storyline that's going to start. I honestly think this is going to start happening here. I'm just waiting for the standings page to load here. Okay, so with that win today, is that including today's win? Because it shows them as 7 points back of Montreal. Montreal has 3 games in hand, of course. Boston hasn't hit their their break yet. Will Bleed be suspended for hit on Yossi? No. Of course not. That's right. The last game they played, the Predators beat them 2-1. So, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So that's where we're at. Boston's 7 points back. Montreal's got 3 games in hand. But Montreal has been struggling, and Boston's been playing a lot better. So I give it about another month, I'd say, coming out of the All-Star break. If that lead is 4 points or less for Montreal, I wouldn't bet against the Bruins. There's just something going on in Boston right now, and it's clicked, and it's sort of like things have clicked in Washington, and they clicked about 20 games ago for Columbus, and for Minnesota. And certain teams hit that spot, and they play like contenders, and they play like every game's a playoff game. And that's where Boston's at right now. So I figured I would take some time today. I'd crow a little bit about my Bruins. Just a little bit, just a touch, just a tad. And just share with you people how, for the first time in a while, I look at the Bruins and I say, that's the team that I'm cheering for. That's the kind of hockey I want to see. So, if you're just browsing through, go ahead and hit like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.